support the Paramount bid for Warner Brothers? That
I don't know enough about it.
You spoke about Netflix last night, saying you have concerns about them.
I know the companies very well. I know what they're doing, but I have to see what percentage of market they have. We have to see the Netflix percentage of market, Paramount, the percentage of market. I mean, none of them are particularly great friends of mine. You know, I want to do what's right. It's so very important to do what's right.
Paramount deal is supported by Jared Kushner, Mr. President. Would that impact your decision?
If Paramount is, I don't know. I've never spoken to him about it. He's really trying to work on Gaza. I think Gaza's his primary thing is Gaza.
Yeah, my son might be involved in another massive and massively lucrative deal, and I don't know anything about it. I mean, I know everything about it. And if you just press a little bit more, I'll talk very in depth about the deal and all of that, but it would probably be better for me if I pretend not to know what my son-in-law is doing in terms of a massive merger, one of the biggest pieces of business news in months. But I don't know about it. I don't know. He's probably working on Gaza. Don't ask me about this media deal he's doing that there's no reason he should be involved in, because what does he know about media? Instead, focus on the Gaza deal he's dealing with. Another thing that, why is he involved in that? Because he doesn't know anything about diplomacy. There's so many things Jared is doing that he's not qualified for. But I am only not qualified to answer questions about what my son-in-law does. And I just want to briefly pause to ask you, if under Joe Biden, there had been questions of a business deal that Hunter Biden was doing, and Joe Biden was asked about that, and he said, I haven't talked to him in a while. Would that be the end of it? Do you think that there would be perhaps a follow-up question? Is that good enough? When we are talking about not only a massively financially lucrative deal Jared Kushner might get if he ends up, like purchasing Warner Brothers or whatever in conjunction with other right-wing billionaires and donors, but also massive control over IPs, over media, really, a massive and important, one of the most important pillars of media right now, which is gonna become even larger if they do this. Would we have any follow-up questions? Obviously we would. How could he possibly be involved in this? And Donald Trump is indicating there that he is not going to be just a passive bystander to all of this. And so if he wants to, he could start to put some pressure, and that could come in a couple of different forms. He could do it in social media, as he has done in regards to media constantly, whether it's about mergers, whether it's about individual hosts, individual comedians even, or he could do it through, the FCC. He could do it, through the actual bureaucracy, trying to steer things in a way that benefits him and his family, which he has done constantly throughout this year. And so that was a great first question, but those questions need to get a lot louder. And the only real point of that is, of course, to inspire someone in Congress to do something about this. And so, look, we're not a business network. I'm not gonna jump into too much of this, but you might have heard that there was, Netflix had done this offer to purchase Warner Brothers, and to a normal person, it sounds like, well, that's obviously the end of it, but that isn't the end of it. And now, David Ellison, the CEO of Paramount, which has already been involved in multiple rounds of purchases and consolidation throughout this year, they've now done a new bid to take over Warner Brothers. That is where Jared Kushner comes in. And so this is a massive big money deal, but interestingly, not necessarily a bigger money deal than the deal Warner Brothers already has. And that's where it gets even more corrupt, that theoretically Donald Trump could weigh in, not only to make sure that the business partnership that his son-in-law is involved in wins out, but that Warner Brothers might theoretically be taking less money, which is madness even from a business point of view. And so all of this is insane. All of this is corrupt, and there needs to be more oversight. I don't know what form it could come in. I don't know how much could actually be done. I would love to see, some judges get involved in this, but dear God. And by the way, once we get beyond this administration, can we have like a legislative equivalent of like a Truth and Reconciliation Committee where all of these things that were just norms up until Donald Trump came into town could, I don't know, be like institutionalized in some way? Maybe there could be actual laws, automatic consequences for certain things being done. Could we move in that direction as a country? I think that we're having a time right now that we might be lucky enough to get past, but I feel like we could stop it from happening a second time, or in this case, a third time.